Oh, so I thought you meant he was.
So he was going to be priority.
Introduce.
Aye, he should have told us he was an Irish rapper. Keane Johnson's pal.
I thought you meant he was just coming to bring
Is he,
no, he
what
was
are
actually
these?
back to fight.
I forget
What's
his name.
the Irish rap band? What's the?
Kneecap.
No, they get cancelled. Kneecap get cancelled, didn't it? Airplane mode. I've got it on my phone. Someday. We're here with Gary O'Brien anyway. I don't know if you know who he is.
Hello.
Does some wee show called Power of Scotland. And how long has it been going for? 20 years next year.
20 years well, it's actually March is the official anniversary, but it'll be in May.
And that's POS, because this one's 39, so that's POS.
It'll be at POS 40, and that was deliberate, to be honest. So I was doing like 3 shows after COVID, just trying to squeeze it because my OCD would have killed me if it fell on 39. I was actually had some personal stuff and family things last year, and I was thinking about postponing the August show, but landing the 39th show and the 20th anniversary would have killed me, so I just pushed it through.
See that mic? See that stuff?
I know, where's it went?
It might not.
Probably will, but...
Hopefully.
Gary's more tech savvy than I.
Ken, he is.
I gave you into trouble last time when you wanted to go, I said, get the mics better.
I know, it is the mics, it's the problem.
It's Jason.
The sound's the main thing though. Like,
of course it is, because folk can...
Nobody wants to
the
see
best
what
one was
ugly
when we
mugs.
did an hour and a half with Bowie and you didn't record any sound. It was just us sitting.
Just as well, it was only us.
Does that need to do it
Imagine
again?
somebody wasting their time coming down.
I'm saying that
fucked
I
up.
changed some cameras and stuff for POS, and the mics on it's been a pain in the ass, so it is
You always seem to be climbing after that rig, like
I'm always doing something stupid.
5 to 6 doors are opening.
Mate, there's been times where during the actual fights I've been swinging for the backdrop truss and doing something
Trying to
stupid.
fix it, won't it?
And fixing things that nobody else is noticing, but it's driving me crazy.
Drives you nuts, Mr. OCD.
Nobody else sees it.
Aye, but I do, so
Everybody
that's all that matters.
All I care about is the
Stuff
price of
everybody else
the
is
price of the drink and the fact it doesn't get normal cider and it's always dark fruit. It's always fruity stuff I need to drink.
Mate, I don't drink. I'm getting the idea.
Get
Right,
normal cider. I'll drink it all.
You told me to change to Stella and nobody bought it.
That may have been the one we were no drinking. It was mobbed. Like, why? How come the bar sales are down? I was like, camera show was week after.
So there was nobody boozing.
I know, aye. That's God's sake.
It's funny, like alcohol sales and that. It's always tough because things are just seasonal. One event, something goes, and then.
That might have been an August one. No, it must have been the May one because then the camera fights were in June.
Been on after it.
But November's always Christmas time. Dark nights. Everybody wants to get drunk.
Aye, the November shows tend to be pretty decent. May can be a little bit kind of hit or miss kind of thing. It just depends on holidays and stuff like that. But,
who's fighting on it?
Aye. To be honest, I'm pretty lucky. Like we get a lot of people that just come regardless of
who's on.
Like, I'll sell a good chunk of tables just to people that just support the show all the years, and thanks to them by the way, because they definitely keep the show a lot less stressful. Do you know what I mean?
I've got all these tables to sell.
Depending on fighters selling tickets, you've got tables already.
Don't get me wrong, like fighters still sell the majority, but I'm lucky enough that over the years that I've got people that just come regardless. So
I don't know they see any specific fight.
No,
it's just
they know it's going to be a decent night and well matched fights and stuff like that. So I
know we've got a couple of camera boys on it.
Aye, we Matty, I seen.
We Matty.
Is there any? Was the other one not been announced?
So
that's how
I'll get them all out this week.
Aye. But Matty's been announced. We can say
Matty's been announced.
Is this only his second fight then?
Aye.
After Oran Moore?
Aye, took his first fight at the 5-minute notice.
Aye, Oran Moore. Fair play. Do you know something? I was saying that to him at the time. I think, in one hand, you've maybe not prepared as best as you can, but see for your first fight, just to not even think about it, not have done a weight cut, not have been stressing about it for weeks, and just go, here, grab yourself a gum shield and a ground game.
Something good about it.
Aye, definitely. And he done well.
And to deal with that kind of mental pressure as well is really good for little upcoming fighters. I've got one little lad, really promising, and I tried to throw him in last minute, and he was apprehensive, and I was like, mate, you don't realise how much benefit you're going to get for just taking this fight, even regardless of the result. Just being able to deal with that and put it in a wee box and just go out there. Definitely.
Fighting definitely whatever it is, 10 minutes.
people get too
Teaches you
attached
so
to
much,
the,
aye.
you know, the perfect camp, and in reality they're always going to get injured and
Aye.
overtrain and all that kind of stuff.
All the time.
Aye.
And it happens to everybody.
And the probably the best fighters I've dealt with all took the, you know, last minute fights, and it really does help, you know, deal with the mental stress out.
Oh, it definitely does.
How many fighters you got on this one?
Only 3, thankfully.
Only 3.
Aye. Unless we need any super subs last minute, but
Aye.
I like to try and keep it, you know, 3 to 5 max kind of thing. After COVID, had 10 on the show.
Aye, the first one after COVID, aye.
Crazy, and I'll never do that again.
Bouncing between corners. All that
Aye,
kind of
swinging for the
issues,
lights,
aye.
and to be honest, I'm too overworked and stressed in the run up to it that they don't even get the best of me in the
Aye,
gym.
in the gym.
I know, I felt that the same even with they fights there.
Aye.
There's somebody on the phone all the time. You're
But
like,
then they all want to fight on it,
They all want-
and after COVID there wasn't many shows either, so I felt obliged to try and get in the fights as
what
well.
was that, 2022?
It would have been, I think it was in May in the 22 or whatever it was. Aye. There really wasn't many, because again, the cost of shows after COVID went crazy. Like my venue, 50% up, like security doubled, and all the extra things just went crazy. So I think people were struggling to put them on at the start.
Aye.
And then thankfully
Limitations and everything with
the
masks and
actual ticket
capacity.
sales in general, I think, went up as well. I think everybody realised how much they'd missed it over COVID,
aye.
and so there was a good bounce back, but it was definitely, initially it seemed a little bit more daunting putting on shows, I think, for people.
And then folk call you, oh my god, they try to kill everybody by putting a show on. No, no, we just try to get back to normal.
I know. Don't look at us now.
So who you got on? No,
Just Tam and
Tam.
Barry Campbell and young Matthew
oh, Barry's
McArthur.
good, I like Barry. He
Aye,
fought Cow with me,
aye.
didn't he?
Barry's still to get announced, but aye.
Brilliant.
That's
Taz fighting that Yasin Ali, isn't he? He was good against Ross, wasn't
quality.
he?
Quality. I mean,
He impressed me.
the
actually,
lad's
against Ross.
undefeated, and you know he's beat some good names, and he's world class, to be honest. So
He definitely is.
Tam will need to be on his A game, but I'm also confident as well.
You can have a win.
It's a good fight. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, but I bet
Tam's had a bit mixed results in the last few years, and he really suffered with COVID. You know, he had I think it was 4 fights after COVID cancelled, so it was just, you know, camp
Training
after
camps,
camp
aye.
for
never
nothing,
getting a fight.
and that was probably his, I guess, physical prime years. You know, late 20s, early 30s. So he kind of suffered in that, and then having really hard fights with, you know, Mevin Jourdain and, you know, Mario Alvarez, and that last guy Soufiane just fought for the world title, the WBC world title there. So, you know, he's at that level where every fight's tough,
It's going to be a hard fight.
and he had 3 or 4 years inactive, you know. So he's at that level where every fight's going to be challenging, but on his day he's a handful as well. But again, all credit Yasin, he's a class wee guy. And actually after his fight with Ross, he came out to Tam and kind of gave him a wee challenge, basically saying, you can get it next kind of thing. So he's obliged.
Fair play. Fair play. It's probably if you haven't seen Ross fight a few times, that's probably the toughest fight I've seen him in.
Aye. Oh no, definitely he's highly rated, to be honest.
Aye, he was good.
I think Yasin's going to go far. He also just went out and done a fair stint in Thailand as well. I'm not sure how long. I think it was maybe about 5-6 months or something like that there, training at my gym there as well. So
I see the Irish boys are making a wee bit of name for themselves in the end. It's quite
Ireland's always had great fighters, mate.
yeah.
To be honest, England always done well because they had so many fighters, and Ireland was a bit like us, like smaller numbers, but they were always, you know, really
tough.
hard
That's what I
day,
was gonna say, tough
well
guys.
schooled. We've had loads of great
That
Irish
boy
fighters.
For Lanka Muay Thai, I think he just beat Johnny Craig. Forget his next fought on.
Oh, last weekend.
For Davy.
I know.
No,
No Garrett Smiley, but the same gym.
Same gym.
Oh, I can't remember his name either. I seen
Tall,
James.
70 kilo. Big boy, he was good.
no, they've always had good fighters. So it'll be good fight.
Good crowd.
It's oh no, in fact we'll maybe talk about that later, but I was going to say we're not looking ahead of
What's
POS
next?
39. I was going maybe leave that for later.
I'll be honest, about a month or 2 ago I probably had more fights arranged for, or
For next
penciled in
year.
for
Is that
40.
right?
Then
Aye, penciled in.
but there's going to be a lot of moving parts.
Aye, of
'Cause,
course.
there's some talk of some old vets coming back, and
So show me the money kind of speeches for Jerry Maguire. Show me the money.
do you know what? It's very about what kind of weight they can get and get themselves fit. But I mean, they've got like 6 or 7 months before it. But it
Don't
would
get
be
fat in the first place. That's the rules.
well.
Maybe a few
It's
years of that.
it's
though,
alright
for
when you're
us.
solid like you are,
Aye,
like,
I know.
but some of them aren't
I'm
like
just
that.
a genetic freak.
But I know it'd be nice to have some of the people that fought in the
Aye.
original Bray Head shows to go full circle
Bray
and
Head.
fight
I know.
20 years later.
John Cullen must be one.
John Cullen is definitely one. John was probably talking about fighting in the 20th anniversary about 2 years ago, and I think that's also another reason why he's wanted to be active as well.
Aye.
Some others that were well known to the event are going to be on it as well. Hopefully.
Aye, hopefully.
If they can get themselves fit, and some of them are already in good shape, but as well. But
I suppose at this age as well, injuries is
here's a question I've been thinking about for the veterans, right? What kind of rounds you think would be good? I don't really like the 3 rounds, and I think most people don't like 3 rounds, but I also don't want to see like old heroes doing 5-3s and being, tired. Like our 40s, you don't really want to see them going into the 5th round blown out. So what do you think about like almost C-class rounds but full Thai rules?
Well, just fight for a minute and a half.
A minute and a half or
2 minutes.
5-2s, and then a minute, or I think if you're doing,
I think you should do.
I think 5 1/2s with a minute, right? But full Thai rules, or 5-2s with the 2 minute
2 minutes
rest.
rest. Oh, that'd be good.
Because for a minute and a half, 2
Maybe
minutes.
you should do a 3-minute
they'll-
round, a 2-minute round, and then a minute and a half round. And then you could do it that way. So you've got 3 minutes to feel each other out.
I think I'll put it out there for the community to kind of talk about, but I definitely don't really want to do
3 rounds isn't my thing at all.
No, I totally agree with you.
Who was fighting on there for DMT? Gary Douglas, Derek Strain.
Aye.
They were all done.
Yeah.
What were they doing? 5-2s? 5
I
1/2s?
can't remember what that was.
Was it May?
POSI in May.
That was May there.
I actually can't even remember what they fought.
If it was 5-2s, they were gassed.
They were gassed.
Still entertaining.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's still entertaining.
I
John still does 5-3s.
aye.
John Cullen.
But an exception, like if somebody really wants to do it, then that's fine because he has been active.
Aye.
But if somebody's not fought for like
That's a difference.
10 years, whatever, they're 40 plus, or
Aye.
I think I would
one
rather
3-minute round. That's all you've got. It's fucking.
that's funny. That's me.
Is that one 3?
I've been threatening Craig Marshall when he comes down to clinch with me. I was like, 1 round, I'll take him, but the rest of it, nah,
There's an idea, just do a Shark Tank. They're pouring about the same way. Winner stays in.
I know an 8-man tournament, but just stay in.
I think 5 1/2s is alright, man.
5 1/2.
Because they'll still be able to go in and show their own technique and fight well for that.
Without properly gassing out over 5
But and still full Thai rules and
Aye.
nobody wants to extend it and see them blowing it there.
Nah.
Yeah.
We just want a wee bit of nostalgia and taking it back, and I also think that you'll get more fighters willing to do it as well because they'll be able to get themselves in that shape anyway.
It's less daunting to think you're going to be
You're
fighting for
not
5 3-minute rounds, and they might think, I could fucking get myself through that.
Or the 3-3s with a 2 minute rest, but I don't like the 3. I know, I agree with you. It's harder to score and all that as well. So.
Aye, 3-3s.
It's funny, like when he's asked people, like, what do you think? 5 minutes or 5 rounds or 3 rounds? Everybody says 5 rounds. A lot of people, when you say, do you like the one championship or RWS?
RWS,
Bet you everybody wants to fight on one as well. Do you know what I mean? I know it's
money.
cash
I
as
suppose
well,
it's just
but
the cash though, isn't it?
it's cash, but it's also that it's exposure as well. Yeah.
Aye, exposure and I don't know, because everybody used to hate 5-round Muay Thai. Oh, what's that stupid music about? Why are they doing funny dances? No, they're 3-3s with no music.
Aye.
And hangman is like, I prefer that way. And that just.
I still do think it's just he's kind of took it and tried to make it a brand rather than to bring exposure to the sport. He's trying to make it a brand. Like
Aye,
one
exactly,
is
aye.
a total
UFC.
different UFC.
It's appealing it to the
The
Western.
mainstream. Aye, it's more mainstream for people to tune into 3 rounds that are exciting and folk could get knocked out. But if you're somebody who's always enjoyed Thai boxing, you want to see it traditional.
Well, that's what I would say. I think they've tried to appeal to the Western kind of UFC market, but the only people that are actually tuning in are the die-hard Muay Thai fans anyway, who don't want to see the guys swinging and.
And Asia, because Asia market will be huge.
It's funny.
But I put something up the other week there where he's kind of went again. He's kind of contradicted what he said anyway. Talking about the bonuses, like. If you're gonna do it, just fucking stick to it and do what you've said.
It's funny how we've all got an opinion on what somebody else should do.
I know. But if you're putting it out for people, you've got to think about what do people want.
I know. But then that's just, it gives us an opportunity to do things we feel when we're doing events as well. You look at somebody else, how they do it, and you go, no, I would do it a wee bit different. And
I was even thinking about putting all the fights on, like, not as many fights, but they're all 5-3s. But say like the way they do in Thailand, like you're still C class, and get used to it for 2 fights, but you still need to do 5-3s. I don't know how that would work out over here.
So you're going to do less fights?
Aye, so no, I was just thinking about it in my brain, like because we do 5-1.5s, 5-2s, 5-3s. What if it was just like, right, this is the rules. You've had
3-minute rounds.
You've had 4 fights. He's had 5 fights. You 2 are fighting each other, and it needs to be 5-3s regardless.
Still full Thai? No.
It's still 30 fights in the show?
No, not 30 fights.
No. We'll be there for 43 weeks.
A weekend. No, I was just having to think about it. Because like the Muay Thai GB tournament, everything's 3-3s. Like in WBC, it's all 3-3s. But then it's just scaled on.
I like the C class, B class, A class thing. Like we've got to remember that people on this is not a professional job, and this is just a hobby that people want to achieve in. And there's got to be that progression, and I think when we changed to the 5-1.5s, that was a big step, and I think it served its kind of purpose.
Because we used to be do 3-2s. That was murder, man. 3-2. Here we go.
Back in the day, showing our age. Showing our age.
You show it every week,
Aye. You're the same age as me, but 6 months older. So he's a year older than me at school.
When did you start? Thai?
I probably started training when I was about 19, 20 or something like that. But I played football. I was right into my football. I played kind of amateur and junior. So I never really. In fact, I think I used to watch him. Because I trained at the same place as Ali and stuff like that, and then I don't think I fought until I was about 26, 27, something.
When was your first fight on Rising Stars?
Aye.
That would have been 2009.
When did you start? Maybe about 93.
93.
I bet it was.
No, it was 1998.
Was it?
97, 98.
I was 89.
What?
89?
89?
No, I started training.
Really?
You trained Master Skin Sitting and all that though?
I thought you were only that far.
No, I know, 10 years after you then.
Wow.
Oh, what?
Aye.
Because I remember you kind of Ortego Street kind of time when.
Me and James came up and visited. We did it in a club.
I could have sworn you were only that long after me.
Nah, my first grading was the 15th of August 1998. Siam Donna Dare. Got it laminated in my loft. They're up there somewhere. They used to go on my bedroom wall, obviously, when I was laminated.
It's funny how important the gradings and all that were at the time.
Shite, get them to fuck. Aye. I know, 15th August. Then I didn't have my first fight. Well, I remember being a blue-white armband, so however long that took. 6 months to a year.
Do you still do the gradings and all that now?
We've not done them in ages here, but I do like them. I think they help.
It's not a bad thing to help with technique, especially for juniors.
Aye.
It was always. It's funny because like sports council kind of stuff, they like things for non-elitists, so it's not just all about the fighters and athletes and stuff. And when I was doing them as a kid, I loved it. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a big deal to me and all that. And then I think when you get into fighting and you start realising that it's a different thing.
Aye.
Well, they do matter.
They do matter.
But
I remember there was who who was John Craig's top fighter? Like Laura was fighting, and Stevie
Stevie
Shedden, they were like sitting in the gym. And I was like, oh, what armband do you use? And he just kind of laughed at me. And like, I'll be a Brun armband. I was like, alright, cool. And then I did my grades. And then, but then I was like Brun 3 for maybe a year odds because I was fighting there. So then Alan's like, when you doing your rid? I was like, I don't know. Do I need to? No, get it done. I was like, alright, cool. Because that's because you're knowing the grade thing. You're like, oh no, this is fighting's different to grading. But then even when I did the fight, when it was Michelle was pregnant with Tegan and Neve, there was like red white bands Alan had kind of made up. I was like, if I'll just do that then for something today.
Yeah.
Make up self defences again.
Do you know what I think is a good thing for though? Because there isn't really anything for this in Thai boxing. Is a structure for people who might want to then coach.
Aye, it does help to teach.
See, like what other sport do people just decide they're going to be a fucking PT? I'll start coaching, and you don't really get. I know most people that do it have got a good grounding in it and have fought and trained for years, but most other sports you have to have done a coaching badges. So grading kind of helps with that.
Muay Thai GB have started to do some of that kind of stuff, and Alan Jones has done a great job in kind of bringing up a kind of basic syllabus and then doing a level 2, and so that's definitely something that they're working towards, and just try to bring a kind of basic, minimum standard of what you're at different levels, and
like that was in the grading stuff. It was like teaching techniques, and but it made you think for yourself and all, rather than you just telling me everything all the time, hitting the pads or doing
making up combos that you have to then show. I think
make up a full Thai combo and be like that. What?
Do you know the only issue I have with gradings is that nobody really fails. See like in other traditional martial arts, like jiu-jitsu or whatever, they give the grading like when you get to that level, and it's not really a money making thing. I'm not criticising anybody for doing it as a business, but I would like to see people actually failing. Do you know what I mean? Like, because then it makes it more worthwhile when you actually achieve it. Whereas it did get.
But that's like if you've failed your driving test, though. You're not going to sit your driving test unless your instructor thinks you're ready to pass it.
But I failed mine.
I failed mine twice. I know. So unless you really like kind of totally flunk. Like if you put me up for a grading, right, go and grade, and then I totally shit the bed. And
I don't remember MD failing gradings.
I remember Alan failed Sean Cruikshank's got a time for like spinning hook kicks and that. It was a big fault.
There was obviously more to that.
There's failings. Maybe failed a section like in the advanced kicks type of thing.
Mate, I never get any less than an A. It was alright.
A plus, he's just.
I've never done my white. And there wasn't that.
You got the white one by default. What are you talking about?
White's just white. Yellow's.
I did one.
I said the yellow one was awful hard because there's hundreds of techniques for that. I can remember all this.
I can't even remember.
Yellow, green, blue, white.
Was it?
I was only young and I was a wee swat, so it'd be like, I don't know, Alan would be getting asked something and I'd be like, me.
You're a wee pick me boy.
Aye.
I think I've never done one. Did you get your white one? Did you just?
No, you just got it.
And then just it was no white, it was just yellow.
I only ever done one grading then. But I think, I only ever, initially I just trained just because I enjoyed coming and it was good kind of fitness to kind of for the Fitbit and stuff like that. It was probably about as fit as I was, and then eventually I thought, right, fuck it, man, I'm fresh.
I think the sport evolved a lot with like YouTube and people going to Thailand and all that, and I think a lot of that stuff that we used to do did kind of go away a wee bit. I still think there is a good place for it if it's done well and things, but I think more gyms.
That's what happened to like karate and stuff when you're talking about gradings. Karate is like an amazing martial art, but then everybody thinks it's shite because they're like, you're a black belt in karate, and they'll just laugh at you.
But I guess
it's all about keeping the standards of.
When you switch to kind of maybe more fight focused, it definitely takes away from.
You don't really.
If I was to do grading stuff in my fighters and all that, they'd be just. We don't even do like Y crews and stuff like that.
No, we do Y crews in here if they want.
If somebody asked me how to do it, I would teach them.
All the old gens.
I do remember them. Do you want me to show you? Can I show you?
Get the
podcast. That's a great podcast.
Walking about with your spear.
The only fighter I ever had that actually done a Y crew was Richie Hawkin. Not one of them done it. And that's probably me as well, because I remember fighting thinking, worrying more about messing up the Y crew than I would the fight.
My first fight in the Y crew definitely helped me just kind of forget about the fight.
Take your mind off it.
So I did my blue white one, And then I was like, all right, oh no, I'm fighting again, shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Linwood Sports Centre back in the day.
But everybody's watching you at that point,
I
you know,
know.
so I definitely felt pressure at the
Aye.
Y crew kind of thing.
Stevie, I always remember Stevie Brundy. Stevie always used
Stevie
to
loved it, man.
a long Y crew. He done them all the time, didn't he?
Aye.
But I think again, if you've got 24 fights in a show and everybody does a Y crew,
No.
I can just keep
But
it
Jordan
class
Cole,
now.
Jordan was
Aye,
off a good
aye.
eyes.
Aye.
And
When it's done well,
Aye.
it's
Aye,
brilliant.
cool.
Like Dean James, I always liked his as well, and he done Other Boy Leon, and they'd be up climbing on the ropes and hanging up there.
off and that.
Aye.
I think when Nico fought in one of the POSs, he did it because Jordan had just passed.
Yeah.
And it was a long walkout, man.
aye.
It was the Phil Collins song in there tonight. We were waiting forever for these drums, and then they come out, and then he did his boy crew.
That song's going to be making an appearance at next POS as well. I know somebody's entrance song.
Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't you remix it's class.
Aye. A shorter remix.
No, it's definitely shorter.
Do you know what I heard? A sort of like, this is totally off topic, but just when you said that, do you know what Craig David did a remix of?
No.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
Oh,
have
that's a
you
good tune.
have you heard?
No,
Remember
I know
the
that.
Bible used to
Aye, I
say
know
he's got the whole
it.
world in
Sunday
his
school.
hands. Craig David did a remix of that.
That's your
That's your
entrance
local-
song.
that's your
Entrance
local-
song in
Aye,
May.
Honestly, man.
Elbowed my head off.
I don't know. Just when you said that about a remix, I don't know why that popped into my head.
Craig David.
I done a remix of the whole world in his hands. Fucking.
I just remember that for the film Con Air. See when the wee lassie's sitting in the
Got
psychopath
the whole
cave.
world.
He's just singing that.
Have you heard some of the AI remixes in it? There was one I heard today. and
Don't
it
tell
was-
me the Joe Rogan one. He plays in every podcast. that drives
Wonderwall.
me crazy.
I don't listen to Joe Rogan anyway.
No.
Have you seen the Wonderwall
No, I've
one?
not seen it.
And it's like 60s kind of soul. It's fucking
Well,
brilliant, man.
there's one that Joe Rogan plays
I've
every
heard it.
podcast
Is
with
it
it 50 Cent.
one? Aye.
Many men.
I've still not heard it.
Oh my god.
But
He-
that Many Men song gets stuck in your head.
no,
because-
the song is class. Like I'm no.
Just the normal Many Men one or a remix.
No,
a
it's
remix.
like a soul singer,
Right.
but he plays it pretty much every podcast like to the same person.
That's why I stopped listening to him.
Oh.
He gets stuck in a bit of a loop, doesn't he? He talks about the same
Talk for
stuff
3 hours
everything.
to the same folk. You're like,
Aye, just everything ever.
But we all do that as well. We think
Oh,
that
aye.
everything we say is pretty unique, but
no,
we tell the same stories all the time.
all the time.
Hmm.
Especially if we're watching the same bit.
In fact, I'm
Isn't
pretty sure they've watched this on the same podcast a few times.
Don't know. No, but that Many Men song, that definitely gets stuck in your head. Because any time it's played at the fights, is somebody's. That's all I say for the rest of the day. Many men. I just that's many men jumping a bit. Many men.
Try and get the Wonderwall one. I don't know. I must have seen it on Instagram. It was fucking brilliant. It was really good.
Do you know another good thing about Muay Thai? They actually do good walkouts compared to boxing. I've been doing
I've never
some.
been to a boxing show in my life.
I've been doing some like production stuff for some boxing shows recently, and I used to do them ages ago. The music comes on and they just charge straight to the ring, and I'm like,
Aye.
God, wait! I spent hours putting these lights on.
They just stomp. I'm here to
I'm
fight.
getting ready to put them all on, and then he's off.
They just run.
See these new kind of white collar ones that are doing the rounds of now. What's your thoughts on that? See that what's it called again?
Right. So again,
That's Richard Smith's one.
No, it's just
well,
the kind of
Richard and Lisa are
they
involved,
do.
in it. And I'll be
There's
honest.
ones everywhere now.
Aye, but they do that kind of region down
Oh,
there.
right.
And I only know for speaking to them what they think about it, and
Ultra
they
white collar.
That's
aye,
it.
they really
Still-
rave
I knew
about the professionalism of the actual organisation, the medical kind of process, and everything's by the book and protocol, and it makes us look a bit more amateurish, to be honest. So I've never actually been to any of them, but I understand that.
I've only seen clips on like fucking social media and YouTube and stuff like that, and I keep thinking to myself, like, how safe is it to put somebody into a ring of any martial art, combat sport, whatever,
Be like 8 weeks training.
with 8 weeks training?
But boxing, like you couldn't do that with Muay Thai. You definitely couldn't do it with MMA because the skill level would
Skill set's
increase.
different, I know.
But everybody can
Chuck
kind of
punches
fling a
a bit,
punch,
Fling
right?
the limbs a bit,
And it doesn't. I mean, you're not going to necessarily do it well, but as long as they're fit and healthy.
What do
and
they do? 3-3s or 3-2s or?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what the rounds
I think
are,
it is like 3-2.
but I've seen a
maybe.
couple that have been quite heavy, quite bad
And do
knockouts.
they wear head guards? No, that they matter.
Can't remember if they
No,
did or
I
not. I
know.
don't think so. I've seen one recently as well, and it's been like ex-football players and stuff like that doing it. But I just think like I know what you're saying, and I totally agree. Skill set for like Thai boxing, MMA, whatever it is, takes a lot longer to learn rather than just to get in and start punching. But the flip side to that is, at least like in Thai boxing and MMA, they're getting a break for getting punched in the fucking head, because that's all that is. It's just
But that's an
punching
argument
punches
against
to the head.
boxing versus Muay Thai. But I mean, like, I know what you're saying, but the people want to do it.
Aye, oh, I get it. I totally get
They're
it.
fighting other people that shouldn't have other fight experience as well. I'm sure there's probably some ringers in there that are like kidding on that they've never done anything, but I guess that's up to the coaches and that to match.
Aye. I mean, you're saying it makes us look amateurish because
in terms of the kind of medical kind of process and all the paperwork that they go through, and I think they've had to be much more regulated because the eyes were on them for that reason. I don't necessarily mean that we're not doing a good job, but what I'm trying to say is I think they're doing a really good job. It's like the bare knuckle event up here. I was involved with the Impact BKB boys in Edinburgh, and I was trying to help them get it through the council, and they had to go. I was in meetings with them, like with people for the buses, the trains, the trams, the people for the Police Scotland, Edinburgh Council, you know, on these meetings. They guys had to jump through ridiculous like red tape, 4 and 5 figures for police, for security, for and everybody was like, oh, there's going to be loads of trouble. I've never seen an event in Scotland with as much police and security presence and as sort of safety medics for the spectators and all that kind of thing. So it might attract a kind of rougher crowd that, you know, that aren't necessarily martial arts or whatever. But the boys done well, and no expense was paid.
And do you think there is just the stigma around because it's bare knuckle and what it's called? People are like that straight away.
And but it was like MMA in the day as well. Like
definitely. When it first started, it was the same idea.
And there's always going to attract people that maybe have got other interests and stuff like that as well. But it doesn't mean that they're no passionate about the sport and pushing it forward. And
if there was a Lethway tournament, because people wouldn't understand that there's no connotation to that for folk.
Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not doing bare knuckle like.
No,
I wouldn't do it, but what I'm just saying, the boys really done everything they could.
Many tickets did they sell? Like thousands? Was it?
No, it wasn't. I mean, again, it was their first event and stuff, but it was definitely I don't know how many they actually got.
Chip Chase, he does it down in England.
I'd say about 1.5 maybe. But so I think the BKB down south are getting maybe like 3,000 or 4,000.
Who's that big guy for?
Still like 3 or 4 times.
Aye.
Is that the same?
Aye, that was aye.
He did the ayahuasca. He was in the same, not on my retreat, but he did the same retreat as me. He was on that.
Who?
Well, you're just throwing him under the bus. You're doxing him.
He spoke about it. He spoke about it on. That's how I knew who he was. He spoke about it on Paul Craig's one.
Right. Okay.
And he was talking about doing it. But he was on the Manchester one, wasn't he?
But that's what I'm basically saying is, we look at other events or other sports, and it's human nature to criticise it or like think they would do different and stuff. And some things we would do different, or in some ways it is. But also these people are just trying to do
no, that's what I mean. I think it's the white collar one. I don't know. I'm a wee bit dubious about it.
See, to be honest, I would get involved in that white collar personally, like as a business kind of thing. And again, I think anybody can fight Muay Thai or whatever, right? Like, see if somebody comes to me, like I've got a boy who he came to me maybe about 1.5 years ago, and he's the really quiet, kind of geeky, kind of guy, really subservient kind of thing, right? And he said he wanted to fight, and I was like, like I used to, be sparring a little bit when we were on the pads, and you'd go to hit him and he'd be feigning injury, and I'm like, oh, you've no got it. And I said to him, I'm going to have to kill you for the next year, like really beat you up and try and toughen you up. And then he ended up having his first fight like in 8 months, like after that, and he done really well. And now he's really tough, And some of my most proud moments as a coach is being coaching the guys who you didn't expect to, that weren't fighters, but eventually got to that level and gone in there and Honestly, like some of my most proud moments, even like losses where guys, they've just trusted you enough to like try and do whatever you ask them.
I know. And they're like, why do you hate me so much? Why do you hate me? Why are you beating me up? I'm like, no, this is me loving you. This is me.
But again, that's the Thai way as well. Like, I mean, do you know the fighter Panpayak?
Mm-hmm.
I remember him training as a kid, like 6-year-old or whatever. I don't know what dogs, but I've seen him getting caned with his old man at the back and stuff, and like that's just the way. Like, it doesn't really fit into your way of the world.
No,
but that's how
you're on a naughty step now. You're not allowed to do that.
But that's how you breed a fighter, with real heart. I even used to get parents complaining about how I was coaching the likes of Richie and Kieran when they were younger, and that was too hard on them, and I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but these guys are saying that they want to be champions, and this is everything to them. And
what age was Richie in that then?
I think Richie was probably about 10 when he first started training with me, and then maybe Kieran maybe about 11, 12, and then through their early teens. And again,
is that the youngest you take on? You don't really take juniors, do you?
I don't train any juniors at all. They were the only two that I kind of brought through. I don't. I might one day, and I do train the odd junior that will come, like wee Mark Cuggy used to come through when he was younger, and if somebody's really into it, like really, and I can work with them. Exactly, I'm not babysitting. And I remember when I used to be with John back in the day, there was a kid that was being cheeky, and I might have hit him a wee bit, and he turned around and said, I'm going to phone Childline on you, and that was me. I was like, I'm never coaching these. It's not worth it, because kids are too smart these days.
Oh, big time.
Alex Nedden, he sent me a clip of like Callum Leslie on BBC Radio 1 News saying about a school teacher getting into bother after school, saying he was going to kick, you're going to get your head kicked in or something. I was like, aye, too right.
But we do get, we are outside of the modern world, and I could quite easily get myself in trouble probably.
Madness now, isn't it? Especially when you see, was there no like a teacher recently get really badly assaulted, and like the wee guy is now like 18, 17, because like, I think he was about 17 when it happened. He was an adult, and so it went to court, and like the judge had says, you've kind of shown remorse for this. I'm quite happy with how you've turned this around. But he'd actually done the like properly serious assault.
The teachers know what they're doing.
But that to make a fighter, you need to kind of push them.
You have to be hard.
Because you're protecting them in there.
Kill them to be kind.
Like I tell people, I basically push people to their limits just to their bit of break, and then I'll bring them back. And you're just pushing them further and further to that edge all the time. And in a fight sport, that means you're going to have to hit them and be physical with them. You know what I mean?
If you don't like it, don't do it.
Can't swim
not
without
good
getting
for
wet.
business, so.
Well,
fighters are that. So.
But again, I probably I prefer coaching fighters than I do like
Joe Public.
Gym Pop.
Because they're there for a reason, and they want to get better.
It's not even that. It forces me to evolve and do. Rather than just doing the same thing every day. Like I used to, like the likes of Shawsey back in the day. Like I used to love coaching him because I would teach him something and then he would get it, and then the next time I'd have to. So I'd be in the clinch and I'd be doing something to him and I'd show what I was doing, and then he'd be able to work it out, and then it forced me to constantly evolve. So that's what, when you've been training for ever, you need.
Well, since 1989.
Get it.
That's mad, isn't it?
I've been coaching since 98.
98
is when I first started doing classes and did fighters and stuff. So
it does help.
Aye. I think, and that's the thing. I mean, there's no substitute for that knowledge and been involved in the sport for that length of time.
But what I'm saying is, you get like there's still parts when you do get stale, you know. But for me, the biggest thing is doing different things. So doing the events and doing the gym, and that keeps it interesting to me, because I'm not just doing the same thing every day, but working with people that force me to evolve.
Do you still go to jiu-jitsu or no?
Nah, I've only done like 6 classes.
Because they've seen you and you wanted to choke you out? You tell me that about the drive down to Leeds.
And well, do you know, I really enjoyed, like, as soon as I went to first jiu-jitsu class, it was like learning martial arts again. Like, I forgot what it was like to
be a beginner.
That sounds a bit arrogant, but lessons are few and far between now, do you know what I mean? So I really enjoyed it, but then they would be like, oh, you do Muay Thai? And I'd be like, a wee bit. Like, try to get your arm after the next class.
I loved the Panicos seminar because he was showing me new shit. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Boot me harder, Panicos. And he's saying sorry. I was like, that's fine. Keep it coming.
I came up with gym a few years ago as well.
Him and Jordan Watson had an interesting fight. We did talk about this in our podcast, so sorry to reiterate myself. Who do you think's getting that?
It really just depends on who's
fittest.
I mean, technically, I'd say Panicos maybe get a bit of an edge, but Jordan's got the power. I like both of them, to be honest. They're both good lads, and class to see.
What weight's it at?
I don't know.
70.
Is it?
So
that's a lot. That's much more Jordan's weight.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But obviously, he looks
Panicos
bigger,
used to fight you at 63 and a half.
Well, I fought Keith at 63.
I know DJ.
Did you fight Chris or no?
Twice.
Aye, when York House.
No, the first one I think was that a main event or something? It was in I think it was Blackpool. No, it was before that as well. I'm not. That was actually the fight before Shawza came to me. Panicos kind of threw him a bit in the clinch a wee bit, and he went, I need to learn the clinch, so he came up.
Why is it folk come to you? Because loads of folk come over. For DU and all that, just train with Gary.
I don't know. What?
Nice
I mean, jump's alright. I mean, it's definitely warm. I'm good at clinch, and I think that's maybe something that differentiates me. Like again, it's like everybody can punch and kick and knee, and we've maybe get different ways we do different techniques, but clinch is a different.
No, it's like a different martial art.
I fucking hate it.
I love
your shoulder used to dislocate all the time though.
Oh, that'll do it.
That'll do it. You wouldn't do it. It's like my shoulders went.
Maybe that put me off.
I don't know.
Don't know.
No, like
so modest.
I mean, no, I rate myself, and I genuinely think that anybody that's serious about it, would do well in the gym. We've got a good group. I always tell people that are moving, like, are you sure about it? Like, go and make sure you do it right, and go and speak to the coach. And I also usually tell people, make sure it's the right thing. Like, if you come up and see what the gym's like,
feel it out
go and see what other people are like, because you can move gym once. If you move gyms twice, that's probably not going to work.
Gym hopper.
Like even like when the first big one that came to me was probably Shawzy, and I was really like close with Stevie Houston back in the day, and that definitely affected the relationship. But I understand why Shawzy wanted to do it, because Stevie was only there maybe family and full-time job and all that, and Shawzy was really hungry, like the most hungry fighter I've ever worked with. So he wanted somewhere that was full-time and serious, and he needed to plug that clinch gap. So I understood why he came. There was definitely no poaching. I mean, even after that Panicos fight, he was training at mine maybe about 6 or 8 months, and we were just I was training him like he was one of mine, but no, he was still going and fighting at their gym and stuff. And so I was never. I actually don't necessarily want any more fighters, because I've got enough to deal with. Like, more fighters to train, and they, what it's like. They all want you on pads and all that. So the last thing I want is coaches falling out with me, to be honest, because the odd day, like if a fighter leaves your gym and goes to another, the coach does usually take the hump. So as a promoter, the last thing I want is that. So I'm never going to be poaching a fighter. But on the other hand, if somebody really wants to, move up and they think that they can do that in my gym, then great.
You can get folk coming over. Has Conor McNabb been in?
He's not been in a while now. No, sadly. I know.
Get fat ass in, Conor.
I know. Wasted talent.
I know.
He done well with us, to be honest. I think he won every fight with us.
And you said to me before, I think it was Josh fought John Wedderburn maybe.
Josh Young.
Josh Young, he was like, you were like, oh.
First fight cuss.
Like, as soon as they come
Mate,
to me,
every single
they
one.
just get done in because Gary's trying to like in the corner like, come on, I know you can date that, but you don't know yet because you've not had that length of time.
Trust.
That length of time to go through it.
Jenna was that one where I think she'd only trained maybe for a few months, and we put her in against Rona Walker. She's done fine for the first round or two. Granted, she was better at 50 kilos than I think it was 52 and a half or 53. But when it gets tough, they needed to know that
you've been in there.
That I believe in you, and when I say you can do this, you can. And when she was looking at me, and she was like, tired, and women are a wee bit more complicated as well, because like physically, times of the month they will perform very, very different. Do you know what I mean? And that's an important bit we don't really deal with. But just in a mental thing. Like normally anybody else in the other fighters, I'd be slapping them and whatever. But I was like, all right, okay, we'll get there in the end. But no, like for example, she had a bad fight last year, and I could see that wee inner bitch was coming through in round 4, and I was like, do not flipping.
Talk back to me.
Shake the shit out of her, as Chris Rock was saying. But was
that against Alex? That was a good fight.
But again,
she'd been out for a while again, and then
there was a lot more to things, and I knew going into it, I wasn't expecting her on top form, but also, it was important that she just didn't quit. And then she was back to her normal self in the last one.
She's done well last time.
But everybody, like Tam lost his first fight in France, and Josh, and there's a bit of curse with that first one.
It's hard to do.
It's a different style and all that, and you're not used to somebody.
Adjusting to something that does take time.
I was going to say something else for them.
What's the plans with Muay Thai GB? Because you're big in
so
AGMs and
it's a really slow process, to be honest. I've kind of.
I think I was one of your first Instagram followers because there's this Muay Thai GB page, and it was just like one picture.
To be honest,
what's this new thing?
We need a lot more people in Scotland getting involved. I speak to people and they go, "Oh yeah, I'll definitely be into it. We need that," and then they never really take action in it. It's funny. I think in Scotland.
Thanks for my fights for it.
I think we in Scotland we're a bit apathetic towards it because we've done that route before a few times, and it never really materialised. I think this is the best chance and last chance to push it through.
Amalgamate everything, really.
And I think everybody knows that we need to do it, and it's no much. I mean, it's only 30 quid for a gym to join. It's no, but people are just slow to uptake. But we're still plodding through. They're doing well with the university championships and British championships and stuff. I think they want to do one up here as well. We've been doing some other things in the background to improve safety standards and working with unis and sports bodies and all that sort of. There is things happening, but just to do it properly, it takes loads of time. And everybody's
there's always going to be resistance for somewhere.
But it's well that we've got a really good board who we still show up for meetings. Like, it was just a meeting on Tuesday there, and all these people are doing it, voluntarily, and so at certain points life takes over. They've got gyms, they've got shows or whatever. So sometimes it stalls, and I've got a little project just now, a kind of app thing that we were hoping it was going to be ready, at the start of the year. We ended up getting some Indian people to do it, and it just was not going to be fit for purpose, and we had to start it all again in July, and so.
Is that the brain injury type thing?
But no, there's I've got loads. A membership app way, but also we to monitor medics, basically. So I think that's a really good safety
Like
standard.
you could get concussed in one show and
Aye,
nobody
then
knows
just
about it.
go and try and find something
Whereas
else.
if we can get
Nobody's talking to
a
each other.
membership app that actually tracks any abnormalities. I mean, sometimes medics will go, oh, their heart rate or something's no great and a bit iffy, we need to keep an eye on it. But if that's happening every single event, it'd be great to see that kind of thing.
You see there's a pattern there. Somebody maybe.
So that's something that I'm particularly passionate about, and the board are getting a wee bit frustrated at how long it's taking. But it's like building a house. Sometimes you think it's going to take this long, and it takes.
Same as
It's better to take time and
But
do it right.
everybody should just join up. Like genuinely, if you, even if it's funny, like some people go, oh, I don't like them there. You know, they're just all about this or whatever, and the silly politics. Or I don't want involved in politics. That's an even better one. But the problem is everybody's got an opinion, and if you want to voice your opinion, you need to come to the AGM in January and vote for who you actually want to take the roles. Because, for example, it's Craig's the chairman just now, and I'm vice chair. In January, they'll get re-voted, and you can put somebody else in that you don't like. But you can't.
Somebody else that you don't like.
Oh, sorry.
Somebody else that you
Well,
like.
I just assume. I just
Freudian
assume that they don't like me. But it's not if you think somebody else is a bit going to do a bit, and we're even restricted in how long we can date. So it's not like we can go in and hold that position. And we aren't.
Vladimir Putin.
No, but some bodies are as directors. They are. Stakeholders, like so they're going to profit from it. This is a completely community interest group. Nobody's going to, there's no money. Any money that's in it is getting reinvested into the sport. And if you want it done in a different way, then get involved. So join up, come to the AGM.
When and where? January?
It'll be announced. Probably announced in December. It's usually the second or third week in January.
Cool.
We've not actually, confirmed it.
Where is it? Normally Leeds-ish way.
It's usually kind of central belt. It's usually Leeds or sort of Manchester or Newcastle or somewhere like that. It's fun. Like I get it. We're all really busy, but it really would benefit a lot if we all got behind it. And like, what would you like to see for a governing, or what do you think a governing body needs to do? It basically has to, from my perspective, increase safety standards and push the progression of the sport. And we're all trying to do that individually anyway. Whereas if we all just came together and...
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's just about having everybody working in one direction. Instead, I'm not saying they're not, but people are trying to do it their own way. Whereas if you had that one sort of governing body to...
I remember when we were trying to get it through Sports Scotland, right, and we went to meetings at, I've done presentations at Sports Scotland and Holyrood and all that, and we went to one in Sport England, and we also sat around a table with all these different ISKs and WACO pros and all that, and there was a prominent official for England, and we were all trying to agree on what the rules were, and he says, I'm happy to agree with the rules as long as it's mine. And I was just like, oh my God. And that's the problem with us, is that we are all alpha personalities and very opinionated. And but really what we need to accept is it needs to be democratic, it needs to be inclusive. Everybody, as long as they're, good people wanting to push the sport forward, should be involved, and it should be representative of the community.
Just copy other things.
So
the fact they've got the SFA and all that stuff.
That's coming under file now as well, right? but you're right. I think that there does have to be something like that, and there's always been, like, your UKMF, you've got SDBA, you had SM. There's always been different.
But the problem is, a lot of the past things, there was like actual shareholders in it. Do you get me? So there was people that were making
something in it and making.
Not even just make, but they had that position, and there was no way again. This is fully democratic, and there's a board, and that's another thing. Some of the guys in the board, we just ram heads together all the time with certain issues like head contact for juniors and stuff like that, right?
I do see Aaron Jones's point though a wee bit when you're having to go abroad and that.
Aye.
punch in the face.
I understand his point as well, but also we do clash all the
Aye.
time. But I respect them,
Aye,
and
well.
we do respect each other, and we all vote and things, and then we respect the vote.
So see the GB, well, the University Championships, the
British
other one, the
Championship.
British Championships, when it's juniors, it's under 16s.
So
no head
we
contact.
haven't made any changes to the junior rules. There is an element of them that want to do it the kind of Thai way.
14, 15.
But for me, as a aspiring governing body for the sport, we cannot be seen to be increasing risk at any point. I personally don't like even the thought of like teenagers, like, you know, fighting.
16, 17.
Getting head contact.
And I'm being I'm contradicting myself as well, because I will match like 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, whatever. But they're
It's the two sides of the coin. It's like,
I can see an argument for both sides. I can't. Coley was talking about it the other week there with Tag, and he was saying obviously it depends on the person's ability. Like you've got some kids that can't handle that, but you've got ones that you could push forward at 15, 16 to fight.
and they're maybe not getting hit in the head because they're fighting that good, they don't get blasted.
Their technique's got nothing to do with their ability to stop brain damage at the end of the day. I mean, when I was a teenager fighting full rules in pubs with smoke that literally was, you know, the sports came a long way as well. But one of my, like for example, Richie Hawken, I remember him being young and thinking, oh, Muay Thai is everything to him, and you know, he just wants to be a champion, right? So I did put him in for fights when he was like 14 against adults, and I used to say to the officials, look, if he takes any shots or whatever, give him a count or just call it off. Like, you know, be cautious with him. But I still put him into that because I thought it was best at the time, and he needed to because he was an absolute giant as well. He was never going to get in fights. And I was in my head, I'm just thinking this is the way they do it in Thailand and that. So I've been there, right? My flip was when he became a dad around about 10 years ago, and all of a sudden he ditched Thai boxing and it was all about that. And all I could think is, oh my God, I thought that was everything for him, and what if he ends up with brain damage? That would kill me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not necessarily attacking anybody. I'm saying from a personal perspective of my journey in that thought process. I was that person. You know, I don't like seeing all the young boys out fighting in Thailand and, you know, getting cut up and whatever for a young age. But also I was doing that with him 15 years ago. So I'm not being.
You only know your experiences for what you've been taught and how you've
seen. It's a different perspective.
And you can change. You can see things different. I mean, there's no saying like just because that's how you were then, now you've got a different viewpoint for that, and that's fine. Everybody, people will change that depending on experience and what you've seen. And
it's funny, but when you're a coach, you're wanting it with them. So the ego of the coach can easily get taken down with that, thinking with the young kid as well that this is so important to them. But what we want the new, like, have you ever done like a 5-year plan and go, oh, in 5 years I want this, or 10 years I want this, and then you get there and what you actually wanted is completely changed. You know, it's funny, like we put those kind of risks to the side because we think.
Brain damage.
You live there.
I'm feeling guilty now. Can you feel the change in time? But thankfully he's sharp as hell. So
aye,
best referee out.
Good runner as well.
I like ultramarathons.
Hold on, right, let's put him down a wee bit. Like. So if he makes a comeback, I'm not looking forward to that.
Good entrance tunes. He played DJ
No
Alligator
Richie, no
one time.
party. Richie,
rematch with Andrew Tate.
That'll go viral.
Richie had the best entrances in the sport.
I remember, I don't know if it was Greg Wooten versus Petch Boonchu, was Richie on that show?
I was,
And it was like DJ Alligator blow your whistle, then everybody at the tables, all these glow sticks going everywhere.
So
that was quality.
no, was that not the Harlem Shake one?
It was definitely a DJ Alligator.
Was it?
Blow you, because Michelle, my wife, she loved that tune. So I was like, she should have been here for this.
Some of my favourites were he got a job in the lagoon as a lifeguard, and he came out to the Baywatch thing, and he was slow motion walking with a flume under his, a float under his arm. Or the Harlem Shake. I basically went round all the tables and said, when the lights go out and the music stops, jump up and start dancing. And that's where it got the whole of the lagoon, just people up on top of the tables and cut faces out of the paper plates and cones in their head, and then John Lamb saying to Richie's brother, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, can you please get off the tables?
Live in the moment, John.
So no, he was definitely a big showman.
You hadn't missed something there, Gary?
Again, conflicted there. Like I miss having the boys in the gym. Like they're brothers to me. So I would love to have them in. Selfishly, I wouldn't necessarily like holding pads for them again. But and that their first rounds with Richie were always torturous because they was always fighting absolute monsters and they would just come out swinging. When they get through the first round, I was always confident and relaxed. But him and Kieran, I definitely had a different bond with. But I was never worried about Kieran getting hurt at 53 kilo or whatever, with Richie at 90 odd kilo and just being he was just a big boy, he wasn't even a man. They were always nervous. But it would be a great story.
Did he fight on the first one? No.
He fought in, John Lamb used to say, he fought on 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'd go through like 20 odd. So I was actually angry at him that when he did stop that wee run, because he did fight in every single one.
They're big names. An 8-1 name of tournaments.
Again, I definitely wouldn't say no, but I mean, anybody that's tried to run a tournament knows how hard it is to keep it together. I've done 4 or 5, and pretty much most of them I've been ready to jump in as super sub last minute, and nobody wants to see a more experienced promoter try to jump into save a tournament. Like the last one was POS 25 with Shawzy, and he 6 weeks before he'd fought Super Lex, so he was all cut up, and then he'd hurt his back maybe about 2 or 3 weeks out and hadn't trained at all, and we had him in doing pads on the Thursday before it, just a wee move around, and he was very tentative, so I was already thinking about jumping in to replace him, and then Bendon pulled out that like maybe the Tuesday or Wednesday, so then it was both of us were going in, and we were getting a bit like needle to each other.
If I draw you in the first round,
I was like, for one round I'll do well, but then I would have got killed. But I never say never. Maybe we'll do it again. I love the tournaments.
Like they're good. But I can't believe it was, what was it, 2016? Can't get put up.
Can't even remember.
Ages ago, man. Was that no way? That last one, Chris was in with
1, 2, 4. POS 25 it was. I don't even know what year it was, but they are special.
Topic was in it. Class.
But it's funny. I remember Misha was saying that when he was doing the tournament, it changed. Like he had like 15 people. Every tournament I'd done, I went through like 15 plus people. Like that is just part and parcel. Like.
You've got an initial 8-man lineup, then it's just.
And the thing is, see when you've got like world class guys in as well, nobody wants to jump in last minute either. Like they're just like, aye, right, why am I going to go in?
And the risk of them maybe getting in because they're going to be fighting on it. It's not as if it's somebody's been told, oh, you've got an 8-man coming up next year, and then they just kind of just up their train up. These guys are going to be fighting constantly, so getting cut or maybe something happens to them. There's always a danger.
But no, they were pretty special. Like even the early day ones, like Craig Jones and Nico Vressen, and they were.
Was Liam Harrison in one or no?
No, Liam was POS 3. Andy Howson was.
He
fought a Thai, Sombin Bab, and I think he dislocated his shoulder. That was POS 4. That was a good one. That was the show before the financial crisis, and then the show changed again.
Before iPhones and everything.
Aye. So when was your first one? What year was that?
2006.
Aye, 20 years.
And then financial crisis 2008. So then we had to make it a lot more. Like, well, I was kind of like the POS started because it was basically my ego and wanting to try to do a big show up in Scotland. Like, down in England, they had like Pain and Glory and the super fights and all that. Paul Hennessy, big shout out. He was a great promoter. Still is obviously, but he done some amazing shows down there, and I was like, we need something, because Bobby and John and Alan that used to do good events at the Normandy. When you your K1 match.
That's the first ones I was ever at.
A class, like your tournament was one of the things I always remember.
K1 Max.
And that was the biggest thing we'd done, and then I just
got £1,000.
Back then,
I feel grand.
Oh, you get bumped, mate.
I know.
I think for the I think the first one was maybe about, I think it was an £8,000 prize, and then it was about 10, and then 12. And so again, even if I was to do it again, it would have to go up.
I think the tickets were like £12.50 though back in the day.
Aye.
There's a few posters kicking about. It's like £12.50 a ticket.
But the POS started just even the name Power of Scotland was basically to show that we could do another big event, and it was only going to be a one-off. And then, but it was all built on bringing up the big names in England and kind of showcasing them up here. And that kind of was the way it went for the first sort of 4 shows. And then financial crisis hit, and I was like, I can't keep bringing up these guys. And we needed some Scottish stars, so then I switched to try to put the focus on like John Dick and Richie and Kieran and Jordan Calder and John Douglas and all those kind of guys, and I also switched to doing all the production stuff myself so that I could make it a little bit more sustainable. And so it was really big to POS4. Then after the financial crisis, it kind of took a bit of a lull, 5, 6, 7, and then it started to build a wee bit as the Richies and all that became like the main events. And
built your own fighters up.
Everybody got to know them.
Again, it's like the event had to evolve over the years and change its identity a wee bit, and
but it's still going though. That's the main thing. Didn't they just stop?
And again, then
loads of folk do one show and it's like, I'm never doing this again.
But it's harder than it looks as well. It's like having the opinion like, oh, I would do that different. When you do it different, it's sometimes like I've had a few people over the years like slate the event and how I'd done it, and have a go on social media and that, which was always fun. But it's still there. I think it's done all right. And through two black swans, the COVID and financial crisis as well. I think any business that lasts 20 years has done all right.
I know, it's been good. I think because I spoke to Cad no long before the Muscle Bound show. That's what he was saying. He was like, I'll be getting Gary in. I'll be getting Gary in to help me.
Well, to be fair, I helped do the production and all that for the East 10th anniversary. I also done like the lights and that for Bobby Quinn's show, Ultimate Muay Thai.
Ultimate.
And to be fair, I'd done a better job with that than I'd done mine because I could just focus and all that.
Less pressure for you, really.
So
it's good to see Dougie McAdam back in the
for the Muscle Bound.
Maybe I'll be making more appearances.
Because it was back up, he was like, oh, if he's not to it, I was like, I'll help you, Dougie. He's like, how do you say that? I was just writing it down again, I was like, yeah, better write it down.
Dougie's class. So, no, it'd be good to see him back again.
Definitely.
Wank.
But as well, I'm proud of the not just lasting all these years, but it's created a lot of opportunities and put money in fighters' pockets at the end of the day. A lot of people again will criticise how I'd done the ticket deal kind of stuff, and but the fighters that really get it love fighting on it as well. The unicorns that sell the 50, 100 tickets or whatever, and they're packing a good bit. They want to get on the shows regularly. So
Paul Kelly, he sold a fair whack for it.
For what?
For Scotland back in the day. Gilbert Gary's guy that was kicking fuck at him.
The Thai.
The Thai guy.
Who was that?
Joe the Thai. Yeah, so far Robin Downer on it as well.
Aye.
It was just a Thai boy that was training with me
That's when
for
there was the old lagoon,
a few years.
big huge lagoon.
He fought in Oldham Moor years ago as well, and his nose broke, but it went in the way. So instead of like the it went in, and they had to go in with forceps and pull it out.
Oh, gads.
Gads, exactly.
Gads
I've got
indeed.
the worst memory, man. I get wee flashbacks and stuff, but I can never properly remember.
But I'll be honest, I've not got a great memory. That's a good thing about Big Richie. He tells me, because I'm like,
Remembers everything.
Jesus, how do you remember
You've
that?
got a good memory for stuff.
I know,
You remember
even though we get hit
Oh,
in the head,
Aye, you remember.
You were doing the hitting the heat.
I was going to say. Aye.
I get hit as well.
8-man tournament in a minute.
I honestly remember sparring one day with you, and I was fucking agony after it. I knew you were training for something, and I remember you turned around to me and went, "Oof, you got me a decent kick there." What? You just battered me for like 5 rounds.
I'm pretty juiced, Jason.
It looks like he was smiling while he was doing it.
I'm like, fucking hell, man. Well, I've been hit by a bus. Oh, that was a beauty of a kick you got me. I was like, one kick.
So what's next for you in terms of the show? What you
What we're doing now? March the 14th next year. Matched up a couple. Race course. Maybe not as many fights. That's quite a lot.
That's a
Back
lot.
bit.
Aye.
I always have a wee dig at you.
Oh well.
Although, what a lot of people also say is how smoothly it goes.
I know.
Because you
Aye,
do
but
fight
no,
after fight after fight.
Aye.
It does
Mate,
go well.
I totally get it as well. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's...
But it is like, because I started on time and everybody's always like, oh no, it never starts on time. I was like, I better start on time.
Aye.
I don't care who's here.
Aye, I know.
If you've not turned up, I don't care. It's go.
No,
Because folk are like, no, want to wait till it's a wee bit busier. I was like, no, they bought their ticket. It says it starts at 1, it's gone at 1.
I know.
But then
It's
you
a
get
good job it
gyms,
does.
like no showing up.
Oh well, it was who was it? GTBA, Jamie and Xander and Chris and that. They were warmed up, like gloves on. Dave's ready to go, and they're like, "What's the boy's name? James Reed." And now goes upstairs and they're just like stunning. I was like, "You're on in 2 fights, move."
Aye, I know.
Like, don't worry, man. Don't worry. I'll kick fuck at him. I was like, alright, cool.
That's right. They were
So
really
there was a wee bit of a delay, but there was a couple of knockouts, so that helped me.
Somebody at the last one as well, was there not? Because I remember you saying to somebody, the fighter was there, but his coach wasn't he?
Oh, don't know.
Somebody wound me up, son, just fucking get ready.
I know. Aye. Aye, Dip and Hillary, they've made me swap fighters before. I'm like, you don't live in Glasgow. Get down the road. Just be here. But no, I like it. Just start matching fights at the weigh-ins before leaving the other fight. So who do you want to fight? Who do you want to fight? It's a good buzz.
Get you sorted for next.
Aye. And then Craig, he's just like, oh, I want $100 money. I'm like, shut up, Craig.
Aye, some boy.
I know, he has some
Craig phones me at like 6 in the morning. Just like, hey.
Aye. I've tried to do housework and stuff on his Snapchat there after his last fight, and I'm like, aye, Craig, I've got things to do. Like, I need to build these radiator covers. Try to screw things together.
It's hilarious.
He just sits there. Aye, because we did a podcast, me, him, and Scott
Misha.
Brindley and Mishko. Aye. But it's not. I don't know.
I was going to say what happened.
What's happening with that?
Don't know.
Probably
It's not up to me.
had to get censored, or else
Probably.
Craig gets cancelled.
Aye. He'll not get cancelled.
Aye, some boy.
But he said, I've seen on his story, he's maybe fighting in January. Don't know the ins and outs yet.
Craig.
Don't know if it's abroad or what. Doing south.
Don't know. I was up in Aberdeen there, wasn't I? I was seeing him up training
Aye.
with Pete.
Aye, with Pete, change of scenery.
I thought he'd just got lost on the way home for a gaff.
Probably.
End up here. Pete, train me.
I'm on the last train.
Aye, he's
I know, but I do like Craig.
Aye, good lad.
He likes it.
I wish he would just screw them up.
That's what Mishko said to him. We were saying to him at the hang on. This is an intervention. We're kidding on. It was a podcast. Get the folk in with the white suit.
See, like after the first
I think all
thing,
fighters need to be a bit mental. We're all a bit.
There's a
sick.
bit of that, aye. But,
aye, but
There's levels of mentalness. I was
I
just
mean-
mental with the drink.
after the first time he was on POS, I kind of had the wee. I was like, look, you could go far.
I know.
You need to kind of screw them up. And even then, he did seem to keep himself in better shape and stuff. But aye, it's frustrating. I would go mental with that boy. If it was mine.
He might move up.
the Tyler Hogan fight was a big win for him as
Aye.
well. Do you know, like...
Toughest test.
See how it goes.
Ah well.
Again, it doesn't always go up. No, that he might hit a level where he'll hit a challenge, but again, he seems clever enough to be able to overcome that as well. But it'd be nice to see where he kind of does land. And again, even if he has a tough fight, maybe that's
what he needs, aye.
Exactly.
Because they shared something that Tom Keogh put up about like partying and that, and then Stibbit, because Tom was still winning, but then
that's right, I
he get beat, and then Craig shared it on his story saying, "Oh, this hits hard." I was like, "Oh well, maybe not hard enough."
The thing is, it clearly is like everything to him. Like when I speak to him, he's like, who am I fighting next? And shut up, Craig. I'm worrying about November. I'll worry about May and next. You know, it is everything to him, but it's not everything to him. Like if he was to screw that nut, he definitely will go far. And he's still young as well.
Aye,
25.
That's what I'm saying. He's still good.
He's not even. He's
A
pretty.
few years in it, but I know it's no linear, the old fighting.
No.
Because you get battled.
In his life, mate.
Right, let's get into this.
Spiritual chat, wings flying through doors, fucking.
Do you know what? I ended up meeting a couple at the airport on the way home, and this young boy, and I'm like, it was actually the water bottle. They seen my water bottle.
Alaska bottle.
What were you? What is that? And I says, I can't even begin to explain it.
You need to get through it.
Aye, it was wild.
That is the thing about Thai boxing. You need to get through it, because let's see when the young folk are like, wee Jay, he's like, I just want to be good. I'm like, you can't just be good by, and it needs to happen like weeks and months and years, and that's what gets you good. It's not just like.
I don't know if you feel the same, but the ones that are naturally talented and it comes easy to tend to stick it, because they don't really appreciate
having to work hard to get there first.
Like again, going back to the old boys, like Richie had to work so much harder than everybody else because he wasn't actually naturally talented. He was just hungry, and every 6 months he'd take another stretch, so his technique would go out the window because his coordination. He was. So he was constantly having to, get it back. Whereas the other one, Kieran, he was, I could show him, I could be doing something to him one night and he wouldn't get it, and then the next night he'd be doing it back to me. I'd be like, you shite, he'd just instantly pick it up. But Richie had to work so much harder, so he appreciated it a wee bit more. Kieran worked hard as well, but no the same degree.
A degree of
repetition. And sometimes I get boys that just straight away they just get it, and you're just like, oh, you'll be so good, and then they just like,
no, I'm not into it.
They just drift away.
Interest.
That's what you said about thing, mate, for Force Fitness. Sean Cuthbert, with class. And
it was unbelievable.
Aye, for me.
I don't know really what happened, because he only done it for like a couple of years, and like I thought,
he won a WBC under 18 or something.
Within about 4 or 5 fights, and then he was just. He had a 4-man tournament coming up, and it was a boy he'd beat for that, a boy from Newcastle, I can't remember, and there was somebody else. And I was saying to him, because it was going to be a big show for him, I can't remember, it was for another belt, and then he just texted me and he was like, I think I'm done with Thai boxing. And I was like, you're not even 18 yet. What do you mean you're done? But the thing is,
it's that age as well,
like, he was just like, I've just went right in about it for like this year, and like I've had all these fights, and I just don't know that. Because who's the boy that does the PT stuff with like wee Steve Irvin?
Jazz or
Branda,
something?
Oh, Jazz Branda.
He fought him.
Right.
He took it at short
notice.
And that boy was doing quite, had been doing well, and he took the fight at short notice. And Sean, I thought wiped the floor with him by the end of the fight. He nearly stopped him, and nobody really knew who Sean was. He was just this young boy, and he just had it. But he had a good kind of mentality about doing it. But then, as I say, he just took the blue. Just like, I'm done. I said, Sean, take a couple of days, think about it, and then he just, I don't know if he still does a wee bit of training, but he just taught it. He never fought again.
But it's the bane of every coach is putting years into somebody, and then they just go, meh. Like I will take hunger and heart over like
natural
talent.
You do need to have that.
Well, that's you can teach technique. You can't teach that.
And to be honest, you can still be a good fighter without necessarily no great technique. There's different ways to fight with different abilities, but that heart.
Lee Mackay's probably an example of that. Well, Lee's technique doesn't ever look great, but he's just solid, non-stop, in your face, constant.
That's a boy that needs to really learn clinch. See if he became a clinch monster.
Especially because
he's got a heart and an engine, and just like going in. I think
he's in Thailand, isn't he? Still,
is he? Where's the trainer?
Don't know.
Oh, I can't remember.
I hope it's a clinch gym.
Aye.
Cause honestly, like again, like you've got to, you've got different ways or different thoughts on how you do certain techniques, but every fighter you've got to treat differently. Like, if I brought everybody that came to me and tried to teach them all to fight the same way, it wouldn't be doing them. You know, you've got to kind of tweak it to the abilities of each guy.
Their flexibility, their strength.
Like Tam McCourt, for example, when he first came and he was trying to fight all Thai style, and I'm like, you're a karate guy, why are you doing?
He's a karate guy, is he?
I have a background in karate, Like, Tam McCourt probably has, pound for pound, the hardest like hands I've genuinely. Well, I actually had another boy years ago that maybe a bit harder, but for a 57 kilo guy, he's got a dig, and it's off that karate, that one strike, boom, you know, stiffness.
So try to be a Muay Thai guy.
And again, he just went to Thailand and he came back with the Muay Thai ooh, and I'm like, fuck.
I just say I'm a kickboxer.
Everybody goes to Thailand. The only thing they bloody learn how to do is say ooh. I think Thailand makes most people worse.
I know we've spoke about that before about like, oh, I'm going there for my camp, and you're like, oh, I don't know, because they don't speak English. They'll just kill you, and then you think you're learning stuff. And
you're training at a lower intensity because of the heat and because of the rounds, and they end up just really slow. And
how much do they actually invest in you? Do you know? I'm not saying
100%,
but a lot of them now have
your money.
Probably now making more money out of it than ever before, and it's just like as many people as you can get in. Whereas here, you've got coaches like you, like I, that are invested in their fighters. That actually.
I mean, I actually was talking about this the other day. The first time you went to a gym in Thailand, the first year, you were just kind of introducing yourself to them and try to show that you were serious. When you came back the second year, they were like, oh, I can trust that you're going to come back here. And, you know, it's like if somebody comes to your gym, like another fighter, you're not going to be like, here's all the secrets I know. Like, straight away, you're going to be like, is this guy serious or whatever? So it took years to really develop that relationship with them. And I've only really trained at 2 gyms in Thailand over the last 20 odd years. And again, I think that loyalty is really, really important for them to invest in you, as you say.
Come back every year the same bit.
But I think that's why I now send people to FA group as well, because I don't think you can get worse at clinching just by doing that for forever. Every time they come out with different, you know, kicking techniques, whatever, and I'm like, nah, like, let's
clinch.
It's definitely.
I disagree with a lot of technical, because everybody thinks that just because they're Thai, they know better. But in each gym, in one ring, you could have 3 or 4 coaches teaching you different things. I remember back in the day, they would have one guy show me something, the other time was like,
go hate each other, compete against each other.
But the thing is, well, they're just pad men because after fighting they had no other jobs. It doesn't necessarily mean that they were good at coaching, and they definitely weren't good at speaking English and explaining things to you.
I actually seen something the other day. Was it? I don't know, I better watch that. I seen something. Was it Diesel now? I think, and somebody else. I can't remember. It was 2 old fighters, and basically we're both talking about a teep, but they both teach it totally differently. One rocks up in the kind of ball of his foot, push away. The other one was saying, "Nah, I'm flat footed." Made balance, made control. So again, every even fighter or coach has got a different technique which suits them.
If I was to say one of my strengths, I feel is that I've got an engineering background, right? So I understand mechanics, but I also have dealt with so many fighters over the years that I don't have one way of throwing a tip or a jab or whatever. I've got multiple different ways. And I'll look at the biomechanics of the actual fighter and knowing how to tweak it in a certain way. Some fighters just can't get their hips run like in the right way for a body kick or whatever, and you need to tweak it. And I think some people maybe try and force one way, and that for me that's the Thai way of doing it.
This is how you kick.
I had so many coaches in Thailand that would be like, no, you need to do it like this, and I'm like, my body doesn't move that way, dude. Like, you are sitting with your hips open all the time, and whereas I feel that here we understand you know,
There's other ways
there's
to do
different ways to do it. That's what I'm
Ways
trying to say. A bit more open-minded
Yeah.
and.
And you've got to be.
And you can still understand, oh, I know I need to turn my hip this way.
But
it's
what I'm
just
saying is
not-
that the Thai coach doesn't necessarily understand the mechanics of it. They just know this is how I do it,
This is the
and this is a
technique.
copy and paste technique that you need to do, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, that's
Doesn't
not
always
going to
work
work.
that way.
But
It's the same with anything with fighters. You've got to know how to. You get a better feeling of what they're going to respond to. Even going back to a corner after a round. Is somebody needing a fucking kick up the arse? Does somebody need right? Settle down. Just calm and then go at the next round. Because everybody's different for even that perspective. But you're right, especially with technique.
But people put the Thais in a pedestal and think that, oh, this is what I learned in Thailand.
They
I'm like,
know better.
They know better even.
but whereas I'm telling them I know better.
Doing it since 1989.
Oh,
1989. That's blowing your mind, isn't it? I've actually better wrap up.
Yes.
Gary,
Been brilliant, Gary.
been a pleasure.
No
So
worries.
November
29th of November.
for POS 39.
39, and then we're sort of more, I wouldn't say bigger one, but more celebration one on the 16th of May.
Keep it free.
Well,
Keep it free, Ali.
Again, I'm not.
5 1.5, man. I'll do 2 of them.
Oh, you might have to do 3.
Okay, 5 1.5.
I'm hoping for a fun card. I've been speaking to some of the old people that were involved at the start. Like, I've got a load of people that were really helpful and influential in getting the show started and helped me over the years, and it'd be great to have all the kind of faces back. And it's not. I hope it's a fun show. That's what I want.
Good. I'm sure it will be. Pleasure.
Thank
Gary,
you.
thank
Any
you.
time.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
boys.
Cheers, man.
Thanks for that. Oh.